Hola. How are
Hola.
you? How's it going?
It's going well. Ruben, I have to say, the evolution of your introductions has been something worth watching all on its own. Like,
Right
this is
on.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been working on that. It's a new style of. What's going on with you? How are you doing?
I have to say, the evolution of your introductions
I think
has been
someone's.
something. I got it.
Okay. Look, Cruz says just in time. Uh, yes. Yay.
Yeah.
What's up, Victor? Sorry. It's a good time. It's good to laugh. TGI Friday, yes, sending all love. And love to all everybody out there. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Carissa, for coming out. And hola y bienvenidos, right? Or is that even a word? Should I just use that word?
Bienvenidos.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Agreed. Dominic. It's all smiles. And hola.
Hola,
Cruz. Cruz, I'm going to take a selfie with you, Cruz.
Don't you dare.
Yes. Anyways, thank you for coming out to Cali Cocktail Hour. We're really excited tonight. We have Araceli tonight, and we're excited. We had a really good, pre-interview talk. Or just a talk, not a pre-interview, because we can't ask questions. That's the
Rule.
what do you call it? Yes, that's the rules. Yes. Carissa nailed it. Yes. But tonight we are going to take you through a journey because we haven't been able to go out anywhere. So we're going to take you a journey through Mexico with Araceli's beautiful voice and Paloma Negra. And the reason why we're doing this is because, we haven't been out anywhere. We haven't done anything. So I haven't been to Mexico, and I need my blood needs a refill. Oh, look at that. Nice to see.
Yes. Hi, Bridget. It's nice to meet you. I won't
Yes.
disappoint you.
And Bridget, it's going to be a Mexican hour, so probably more than an hour. So, good evening, Chris. Chris has his live streaming coming up too, which is another live streamer coming up. We have like 4, 5, 6 shows now up that are going up for live stream. So I'll put that in the calendar.
Is this all you're doing, Ruben? Like you just?
Well, I mean, Chris.
Empowering people to create their own shows and
Chris has done it on his own. He's been practicing on his stuff, So I talked to him about some stuff, but it's mostly him. I mean, his stuff. Dominic, yes, Dominic. His show is coming up too. Dominic, remember that. He's gonna have his show coming back up. So I'll take credit for Dominic though.
Okay.
Yeah, but Dominic, so he's an awesome dude. But sorry, I'm drinking a Mexican screwdriver. So it is, yes. So it's Russian,
What's a Mexican screwdriver? Is it tequila and orange juice?
No, it's actually, I don't like flavored vodkas. Like mango vodka is horrible, but tamarindo vodka is actually pretty good.
They make tamarindo vodka?
Yeah, and I put orange juice in it, and it tastes like a spicy, screwdriver. I'm like, perfect. So
beautiful.
So that's what, that's where we're going. So
yeah.
Thank you, Chris. I mean, Bridget. So the screwdriver is working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Sergio. But I mean, I don't know, Ruben. Like this week marks 1 year of sheltering in place.
Yeah, that's right, huh?
Yeah. This time last year, we were being told like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
I know. We were scared. It was dark. We didn't have good leadership. It was even scary with that leadership. So it's kind of nice to, get out of it. And actually, people are looking more positive and more motivated. I mean, I think they're like seeing what an adult sounds like, right? And taking care of business and and doing that. And so I do appreciate everybody out there who has been coming to Cali Cocktail Hour since then. I think I missed maybe 3 shows in that year. So I always feel guilty if I do too. I'm like, no, I gotta go on. The show must go on, But once in a while, I need to take a little bit of a rest.
With so much uncertainty, it was so nice to have that consistency, to know that we could look forward to the 2 to 3 nights a week where you'd be on.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to Melissa Pinnell, who is going to have a baby soon. And she's, so exciting. Maybe we'll have some pictures too. And it was interesting, getting on when it first happened, getting on Facebook and just saying, at 12 midnight, is anybody out there that wants to talk? I'm here. It was like an echo in the universe, and people came, and this is how it started. So, and I'm very proud of that, because it did start with love. So,
Yeah.
That's that's a good thing on there. Oh, hold on. What's up? Oh, Ruben and Carissa. I just said I didn't even read my name. Nothing much, Serge. What's up with you?
So I think Sergio's not in Chicago anymore. You're in Sacramento again?
Yeah, he's in Sacramento. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Serge, we are going to go through Zacatecas tonight, so you're going to see some cool stuff, and it'll get my blood going back. And Dominic, you were in there too. Dominic plays in the band too. So, Uli, Streamers Heaven. Yes, Uli and I have a show. Uli's an awesome producer. We do a live stream animated show. He puts a lot of work into it. So it's a cool show on Wednesday nights on Twitch and Facebook. Hola, another live streamer. Teresa, who has her show tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And it's about, yes. So, Teresa, if you can mark down your, I'm going to show a calendar later on, but we have a lot of people going on. And yes, thanks, Chris. Yes. Hola, Bridget Rex. Did I pronounce Bridget's last name right? Yes, I think I did. Hola, Cruz. Oh, see, people are saying hi.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here as well.
Ruben, you've created community. It'll be beautiful the day that we can all reunite. Maybe in
everybody's gonna leave me. I'll be here by myself on Friday. Hi, remember? No,
you'll be with us.
No, I'm kidding. Okay, Rapella says happy. We're both you and Melissa helped me a lot. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So somebody got their vaccine.
Somebody got their vaccine.
Hola. Lupita was on here last week, and she's going to have a live stream show. And we're getting that up for her and going, and it'll be Wednesday nights, and it'll be Mujeres Mexicanas and what they, creators, and it'll be awesome. Marlo says, hello, friends. So, hello, Marlo. Marlo's also another great friend who is, yes, on the mountain, or he'll be going back to the mountain and learning a lot of healings and techniques. So thank you everybody for coming, and it is a pleasure to bring on Araceli, right? But we're gonna play a song. You get to it first. Go get your drinks. This is a little bit of I was talking to them earlier of the transformation, but this is more of I did some glitch art for this song, and it's also just videos taken right outside of my house and with clouds. So it's got some clouds, man. It's cloudy and stuff. All right, so we'll be back after this I guess a song, and we'll be back, everybody. So hold on. Right. Yeah. It is. Yes, we talked about that. So if you look at the schedule, Chris and Uli are white, so that's awesome, and so is Andrew. So we're but we're 7-3, so we're gonna get them up. So everybody, it's gonna be beautiful live stream. Live stream knows no, it's like it's all energy. So, see, you're acting ability, which is curious. We'll have to talk about that too, because
if you want to bring it up, but all the world's a stage, right?
Yeah, she's gonna do some acting tonight. So some improv. All right, so we'll be back because we're going to get Araceli on here. We have a lot to talk about. Thank you for coming. We love you. If you're here to hear that we love you, we do love you. So let's go and let's play the song and let's get there. Bienvenidos a todos de Zacatecas. Hola, mucho amor para todos.
Ruben, when you shared mucho amor para todos, I didn't realize Walter Mercado was going to be on this show as well.
Sorry, I cut it short. Yes. Well, that was one of my favorite things is when I go to Mexico is hear the DJs always with their mouth on the microphone. So all this, you can't really hear what they're saying, but it's always like, "Hola, gracias." I'm like, what? Uli says white immigrant, if that's okay. It's perfect. We talk about he's a live streamer, so that's Uli's nice. Feeling the chemistry, yes. Oh, good, he saw that. I'm glad he saw the name. Did I drop these vocals? No, but if you want me to, I will. Yes, it is.
Delic. Ooh, I like that word. Yeah. Trippy-delic.
There you go.
There's someone new in the room.
That's right. So, hola. Hello, Araceli. How you doing?
Hola, Carissa, Ruben. Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
I'm so sorry. Is it just me or is the volume just a little low?
Mine?
Yeah, you might want to turn it up just a little bit.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Is that better? Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Thanks, Carissa, for catching that.
Well, no, I just want to hear your voice. I know we're going to hear it all night, but I've been doing my research and I was like, I got to listen to these tracks. So
yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for catching that. Yeah, it's all the technical stuff.
Yeah, welcome to Cali Cocktail Hour, and we're excited to get on and talk to you. I saw you on Dominic's show a while back, and it's great. And besides that, I saw you on Typing In one time during Cali Cocktail Hour when we played some Paloma Negra too.
Yeah,
that was a while ago. Yeah,
man, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Gosh. Well, it's really nice to meet you. I mean, I know that for a lot of us, we're meeting virtually first, and someday it'll be like, hey, I met you on Facebook. I met you at this show. I met you. It's now not weird to say we met online.
Yeah.
But I have so many questions. Like, I want to get to know you. You do a lot of, Ruben was telling me a little bit about the healing work that you do. I'm familiar with Paloma Negra, but how do all these different things come together? How does it make sense when we meet you? But I really would love to know, like, who's Araceli? How did you come into this? How did you become this holistic healer, musician, badass mujer? Like, where do we even start?
I know it's such a broad question, but it's a great question. And I'll tell you, I don't really know what came first. Like they say, the chicken or the egg. All I can tell you is whether or not anyone would believe me is I was in diapers in my crib when I knew that music was going to be a vehicle through which I would, express myself in this lifetime. Call it incarnation or this lifetime. I just knew that. And I have this immense awareness of what music did to me. The resonance, like Ruben was saying, vibration and frequency and all that. I knew in diapers in my crib, I just felt in my heart how it would expand with the sound of music. And then from a very young age, I also started having these mystic experiences, these internal, things. And I deem myself not an ordinary child because I was thinking about things small children, I don't think they normally would think of these things, So I think both of these things, both of these paths just started kind of like merging into one. And there was a point when I was on stage and I knew the truth of who I was, projecting outward. And I couldn't separate the person that I was, the artist that I was on stage, from the person that I was off stage. It was just, they just merged very naturally.
So let me ask you a question. So you it says you're a certified holistic healer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some of us, can you give us a background on that too?
Yeah, so the inward journey really started because I needed to know, the truth of who I am. And so, with all that, we are born into this life, this incarnation, as what I feel really pure beings. And then, that's what I call when people say, what is the inner child? When people talk about your inner child, I call that, what I know that to be is the innocence of our consciousness. That's the inner child. And what is the ego? The ego is a fractured version of that innocence, So, as you go through the exercise of being in life, you're born this pure little being, and then you go through the exercise of life and you're hurt and, all these things that just fracture your essence. And so those are the masks that we wear as we try to be ourselves in life. So I always recognize myself to be an ultra sensitive. What I call now, I made up this term, is an ultra sensitive empath. If you're familiar with the term empath, imagine an empath as an ultra sensitive. It's a really rare breed. And so I needed to find ways to really just, like Carissa was saying earlier, soothe myself, all the agony and the intensity of being who I was. So I started exploring with many different techniques, breathing techniques, meditation techniques. But it all began, from the very first, like I said, mystic experiences I had as a very young child. And there was one story in particular, I must have been 4 or 5, maybe younger. And that experience really changed the way I viewed myself in life and death forever till this day.
Wow. It's interesting because I know that we talked about this earlier. Now, like you said, when you were knowing about music, right? And I think we talk about everything is sound. Sound is vibration. It's energy, and it's. I learned that when I was in my mother's womb.
Yes,
too.
I believe you.
Yeah, I saw things, and I did a lot of past life regression, hypnosis, and healings, and energy work with different people to get to that point to remember some of the stuff that I remember. And of course, we go through our childhood, and some of us have not the great one, and we carry all those scars and everything with us too, and all that trauma. And I think one thing about this pandemic, I think that we're going to learn, I think that for me, knowing that, we had this happen, but now I think we realize 2 things, at least I do, is the quality of life, right? Quality, and also mental health. Like, I think people are starting to realize how important it is now, like how, because you had to step back and life slowed down, things slowed down. And, and of course we had to deal with, when they talk about you don't want to be in silence, because when you're in silence, you're with yourself and you're with your thoughts.
Yes.
And I think that we had a lot of that, especially like I think we talked about earlier in the pandemic, where everybody all of a sudden had to be by themselves, right? And like, oh shoot, they never had to deal with this, and we had to deal with a whole bunch of stuff. So, and like I said, all that is energy, and all that is, like vibrational, whatever you want to call it. But how did you deal with, during this pandemic? How did you deal with, like, because I feel like we're getting out of it, too. There is some hope and light, which is great. But how did you deal with it when the various, from here to now?
Yeah, well, thank you for that question, because it is true. I think what this experience with COVID and just the fear that we tapped into, I think it was just an opportunity. It was an expedited opportunity to go within, in all my circles and my workshops and everything that I try and teach and share with the world is you have to go within to the divinity of your heart to really get to know who you are. And so, but, in our busy lives, we all have this idea or this expectation of what we want. But the truth is we have too many diversions, too many distractions.
Yeah.
And so we're suppressing all the pain of all the things that we're feeling, all the density, all the emotional density. It was very easy with all the access that we had to go out there and go to a club or a restaurant or have parties. And we're always looking for outward contention. We need contention. We need, to embrace ourselves. But what we do is we choose to go outward. So I think what COVID did is just really, it got us an expedited ticket to really go within. And so I can honestly tell you that I put everything that I knew, I learned and practiced to the test. And every day is a battle. Yeah. Because even with all the techniques, and I'll tell you all the accelerated, energetic healing, emotional healing, and spiritual healing techniques that I know, I was exercising every bit of it every day because it was just very raw, to have to go within. And COVID is like losing your identity. It's like, who are you? And I was mentioning that video, the I Am video. It's really just go within. It's forcing us to go within, and then I go within and I find out what aches and what hurts. So what do I do with it? So that's what the techniques are for. It's like, I'm identifying what I'm feeling, but how am I going to manage all of this emotional turmoil?
And
no, I love that Ruben asked that as far as how have we coped with the pandemic, or what has that taught us about ourselves? And Araceli, hearing from you, like even you as a practitioner, someone who coaches people and is able to understand yourself so well. And I really resonated with the point about like, you didn't feel like a normal child because you knew that you probably thought about things differently. And I was like, oh man, we definitely need to connect on that later. But what has it meant to walk the walk, so to speak? It's like, it's so many of us, as you mentioned, we do have distractions. There are all these beautiful distractions in our lives outside of COVID that we could always connect with people. We could show up for them. But what does it mean to really have to sustain yourself? What does it mean to have to really be there for you? And to do so without feeling selfish, to do so as an act of self-love or resilience, it has been a very transformative process. But I love that you touched on, like, you kind of lose yourself a little bit in that. And I have to say, it's been kind of fun losing myself in it too. It's like, how do you embrace, you were talking to me about this earlier, to embrace and honor every aspect of ourselves, not just the good stuff, but the maybe not so great stuff. So
that is key. That is key because, when people back in the, 60s or 70s, when, the new age movement, when everybody talked about killing the ego, the ego, earlier I was saying the ego is just a fractured innocence of our consciousness. So why kill it? It's an aspect of us. We just have to understand it and view it as a witness. What part of me is the ego? And we have to be gentle, just treat it like a baby, So Carissa, I had to put all of these techniques put them to the test, and one thing I'll say about everything that I know, just from my view, and I always just talk about my view, everything that I ever explored and tapped into is what I share. I don't just share random things that I think are like, trendy or whatever. I always share what I know I've explored and researched enough. And then I can go and share and say, look, this is how you can just do this, and embracing all the broken parts of you, the beautiful parts of you, all the dark parts of you. Everything is like, you need to acknowledge, because that's what the ego wants. I always say the ego is like a little baby. When a baby cries, you give it a pacifier, give him or her or she a pacifier, So that's the ego. It's just like, hey, there's this part of you that needs to get a little love and attention.
That's awesome. We have a couple people say hi real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Hola, Teresa. How you doing? Let's get back on. Hola, primo. What's up, Julie? How you doing? Oh, snap. Watching via YouTube like Pitbull. You're all worldwide. Yeah. And yes, how the pandemic forced us to be with ourselves. Yes. Un año en soledad. That should be a title of a poem or a book, right?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, I started this. Old white guy in the house. Perfect.
So.
And because it is an interactive show, Dominic wants to know about the
Escritores del Sol,
yeah.
the writers of the sun.
Oh. What does he want to know? I was
I
a
don't
part
know.
of it. I was a part of that group. Well, I still kind of am in spirit, but I haven't joined them in a long while.
So what is the group first?
I met them back in, I should say it's like 1997. It was a writers group, poetry workshop. Some of the most amazing, Arturo Mantecón, Graciela Ramirez, Mark Schwartz, Francisco Alarcón, who's no longer with us in presence, but some of the most amazing poets that I got to meet and work with. So it's a collective of poets.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny Walker says, hey Johnny, how you doing? Nice you coming back here. Soon maybe Johnny will let us stream on the Casa Español page. That'd be awesome too, huh? Or do a show with him or them. They're awesome people. And Francisco, many hearts. And, I never got to know Francisco, but I've heard stories, and it's obviously I can't go back, but all the stories I heard of, people love him, right?
Francisco Alarcón.
Yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal. He had me come into one of his Chicano studies classes once, and I read some poems. He was just amazing, and his work is just amazing.
So, real quick, we are going to head into the first song, and we are going to head into everybody. We're going to go to Zacatecas, which is an awesome place where wonderful people are born, wonderful bloodline, awesome there too. Because that's where I'm from.
That's amazing.
I respect it.
Sergio. Serge, I need you now. My cousin Julie, she wasn't there. No. But anyways, so, and you wanted me to, like I said, play this song. Can you tell us a little bit about this song? Because the other ones we're going to go into, but this one I think sets the tone for everything. So imagine yourself, everybody imagine yourself in, sitting down in a concert in Zacatecas, and in the magic time of Mexico. So, yes, and we'll go there. So
yeah, I'll just tell you real quick. It was open sky, no ceilings. It was right outside the cathedral. It's called the Plaza de Armas in Zacatecas. It was magical. It was like 13,000 people in the crowd.
Yeah,
and we had 30 minutes opening. We were the opening act for Spanish icon Jose Luis Perales. We were opening, and we had 30 minutes to prove who Paloma Negra is. And this song is called Que he sacado con quererte by Violeta Parra. She's one of the most iconic artists from Chile. And this song is actually a very simple rhythm. It's called Mapuche. It's one of the broadest indigenous groups in South America. So I just want you to connect to the rhythm, to the drums, to the words. It's a lament. This song is Que he sacado con quererte, Violeta Parra wrote for her Palomo. And so it's a lament. It's like painful.
Yeah. And before I go in, Dominic, remember he turned out to be a mutual friend of ours in real life. And then he was an amazing poet and educator. So, and maybe we should do a show of people that have passed that we don't know. Maybe we can get to know these people, because there's a lot of people who made the pathway for us to be here doing it, and we need to honor them too and their spirits too as we go.
Definitely.
So let's go to the song, and we'll get going, and let me take off the
and I gotta say, Dominic Garcia from Sacramento is there performing with me. He's Paloma Negra's musical director. He was there playing bass.
Awesome. Well, we'll go on there. Let me start this real quick. Everybody, are we here? Here we go. Uh-oh. something going on here. We have something in the matrix. Hold on. Give me a sec. You want to talk for a second so I can do some magic behind the scene?
Sure.
No, I was like, of course, I could always talk. No, I love that. I was talking to Araceli behind the scenes, but when Ruben had kind of reached out and was like, hey, I'm going to have this really amazing woman on the show. Would you like to help me, kind of get to know her a little better? And he's like, have you ever heard of the group Paloma Negra? And I was like, whenever anyone asks me a question, I'm like, luckily, I have this computer in my phone. Like, give me like 5 minutes. And I remember the first songs that I heard were all of your covers of these classic, like, social justice warriors from the 60s and 70s. And it's like, my own educational background was 21st century Latin American revolutions. So I was like, as soon as, I heard Victoria
Violeta.
Violeta, I was like, excuse me, it's been a long night. It's Friday night, and I'm not going to lie. I'm like, just...
It's okay.
Like,
it's okay.
I'm so sorry. But like,
Violeta Parra is fine.
I think one thing that Ruben has done, or perhaps I've learned, and you are so much more entrenched in this than I am, is embracing that spiritual factor of our lives, that sometimes people come around and they make you feel a little less alone in the world. Like I was like, this person captures something very beautiful. And and I'm sure that you're recalling the energy of this woman as she was singing the song. And it's almost
I gotta tell you. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like we're ever just one woman. It's almost like we feel like we're along a chain that is strung together almost. And hearing you sing, I was like, she is a part of a much larger chain. I was like, I must meet her. So with that, that's what really got me excited.
Awesome.
Thank you, Carissa. That's so sweet of you.
And I have recovered.
Awesome.
So here we go, everybody. Sit back. Oh, have I not recovered? Dear gosh. Maybe I didn't recover.
It's okay.
Hello. Give me 1 second. I might just bust in on you guys. Yeah.
So I'll just say, while you figure it out, and you're going to just interrupt me when you recover.
Oh, we did. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. Awesome.
See, it's perfect.
¿Me pueden ayudar así si quieren hacer música así? Eso, qué bonito. Muchas gracias. Eso, que suene. He sacado con la luna, ay, ay, que los dos miramos juntos, ay, 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 que he sacado con los nombres, ay, ay, ay. bonito se siente cuando ustedes hacen música con nosotros. Muchas gracias.
Wow.
Well,
That was awesome.
that was heart-wrenching. Like, it's, you know, you have a beautiful voice, yes, but beautiful, I think, is just a word. Like, to be able to really sing that song, I think, you know, I'm probably simplifying it, but to understand, to really reflect, like, you feel it. And I just thank you so much. Like, I just watching you and listening to it, and maybe it was the drums, but it was like, haven't we all hopefully have been at a point in our lives where we felt that? And so it was like pulling me back to certain places in my life where I was like, thank you for reminding me.
Man. Yeah. And it's just, you know, Violeta Parra, speaking of connections or vibrations, when I discovered her work through one of my biggest teachers, music teachers and mentors in the music industry, I connected to her story, her pain, her joy. You know, she wrote these laments, but she wrote, for example, Gracias a la Vida, which is also in the Altar CD.
Yes.
But then she wrote this other song called Maldigo del Alto Cielo, which is the extreme opposite. This is Gracias a la Vida is I'm grateful for everything that is. And then Maldigo del Alto Cielo is damning and cursing everything that she knew because after her heartbreak. You know, so that just told me about the duality and humanness. You know, we go from one extreme to the other, and that's okay. And, you know, like Carissa was saying, embracing everything that we are, you know?
Hadi, there's something going on with your...
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm twitching.
I think we're on, yes.
What happened?
Let's see. Well, Chris said you have an incredible voice.
Yeah.
You know what we can do? We can actually go on to the next song, and then you can just log back in and log back out.
Okay.
Because, so we'll go back in. Because let me go. We'll go back to the next song.
Weird.
I like it. It's different. It's
You're
very
talking about the duality of your personality, and I was like, I'm seeing it. Like this.
Yeah, it is very. It's modern. I like it. But here's another song.
Strange.
Yeah,
go do that, and then we'll fix it.
Okay.
Yes. For some reason, okay. And here we go.
Oh, what happened? So did you log in and out?
Yes.
Ruben, you really are taking us to Mexico tonight, aren't you?
Yes.
Si acaso yo muero primero que tú, pondrás en mi tumba una humilde cruz. No la pongas triste ni negra, por Dios. No sé que al mirarla, no sé que al mirarla te cause dolor. Azul la prefiero con flores al pie, azul como el cielo que en vida yo amé. Escribes en ella mi nombre no más y luego te apartas. Luego te apartas del triste lugar. luego en mi tumba te esperaré y volveré a amarte y volveré a amarte cual vida te amé.
I said Paloma Negra on crack.
I know what I'm going to cry myself to sleep listening to tonight. Just that way.
Oh, you should
No,
get
no,
a copy. You should get my digital files so you can listen to all the songs.
Yes, ma'am. Hecho y hecho. Oh, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruben, and thank you, Carissa, for having me.
Is Paloma Negra still, and I'm sorry for asking a dumb question, but
No, it's
will
okay.
you be going on tour again?
Yeah, you know, post-COVID, we'll see what things we can do, but it's Paloma Negra is just idle right now, like everybody else is, you know, but it's still very much alive for sure. I'm in the, you know, behind the scenes, I'm still producing some songs. There's one in particular that I'm going to produce, maybe launch it and have a video this summer. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. And how did, you know, you talked about Ruben was talking about your holistic healing. And I know you kind of alluded to it and talked about it. I'd love to learn more about what it means. You know, what are things that we could do in our day-to-day to be more present or to transcend some of the pain or the grief, but also how has that played a role in your musical trajectory?
Oh, that was an amazing question, and I want to thank you for it. Yeah, because earlier I tried to explain that everything that I teach is everything that I've practiced and researched. So in my own, you know, becoming a singer, a performer, a producer, you know, having to get on stage and perform, like in this example of Zacatecas is like before 13,000 people. It takes a lot of guts, you know, and like many artists, I'll tell you this really quick story. 2 minutes, you know, before, you know, they were doing my makeup and hair, the hotel was like 5 steps from the venue. I freaked out like many artists do. And I said, I can't go out there. And they gave me a peek of what was going on. You know, I saw the multitude of people and I said, I can't go out there. But then it's like, go within. You know, I remembered my tools, my techniques, you know, breathing, going to the divinity of your heart. And it's like, I can do this. I was born for this. So it's like in 2 seconds, I turned it all around, you know, and I could have just ran away. But then it's like I crossed the bridge from the hotel to the venue. And before you know it, I was performing before 13,000 people. And so everything that I teach, it really begins with the breath. You know, I always say the breath is the one thing that you have. You don't have to go to anyone. As long as you are alive, you have your breath. So the breath to me is everything, is life. You know, when you come out of your mother's womb, what is the first thing they do? They cut you off, you know, from the umbilical cord. Your mother has been sustaining your life. So now you're on your own. And what do? They make you breathe. So I say, whenever you are in any situation, you know, you are feeling scared or hurt or whatever it is that you're feeling, anxiety, all you have to do is sit down for a minute. How many times, I ask you, how many times can you breathe in 1 minute? So it's like, you know, if you just exercise the in breath and the out breath, in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just let it all out, it grounds you. I tell you, it just connects you to your 7 energetic centers, which are known as the chakras. It's a Hindu concept, you know, the 7 energetic centers. Call it whatever you want, but it's 7 centers, energetic centers that align yourself through a spinal cord to everything outside of you, your physical body, and outside of your physical body. So the breath is the one tool you have and you can use every day. But we're just so busy and we're running all the time. It's like we don't even make time to sit down for 2 minutes and breathe. I say, before you leave your house, do that. Just sit down, close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out, and you're connected to your inner being. And then you can go out into the world and just deal with whatever, you know? So that's one tool you have already.
I like that. I have to just underline, bold, italicize, you know, call out what you just said. When you said you were afraid to go out there, you said, so you went within.
Yes.
Like when you can't go out, you go within. And I was like, I'm going to remember that. That was very powerful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And that is key. And that the one video I mentioned, the I am video, it's all the truth that I know. You just close your eyes. You know how in the Bible, there's a part that reads, the kingdom of heaven is within. That's what that means. All the power, all the awareness, all the strength, the courage, the answers, the questions, it's all here. So that's what that means to me. And what connects you to that kingdom is you close your eyes and you just center yourself. And what allows you, the key to centering yourself is the breath.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No need to apologize.
Yeah, no. No one knows, but I have a little bit of a, So Chris, let me go back to Dominic real quick.
What's he saying?
He's saying Paloma Negra vive, yes.
Oh.
And, and it is, this could be, like this, ignite the flame again, and get Paloma Negra out there. And he wanted to say, did he live stream at the Zocalo? Was that that performance there? Because that was the Dia de los Muertos one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, most of the work of Paloma Negra is focused on the Day of the Dead traditions. And it's because I feel that, I've learned that two of the biggest and most natural fears in a human being is the fear of death and the fear of loud noises. So I feel that we go through life being afraid of dying. And a lot of times we don't talk about death, we don't talk about, the fact that death is a part of life. And so another aspect of Paloma Negra is just trying to help people come closer to that fact. We are going to die. When we are born, we bought a ticket to death. And so if we understand death as part of the cycle of life, we can understand and live our lives differently, more presently, more joyously, more, selflessly, I think.
Yeah, I upgraded my ticket last week.
Good.
Yeah. It's going to be a great journey for you.
I hope you have Cali Cocktail Hour from Mexico. Or actually, don't think about us. Just be present. Go be there.
Be present. Presence is everything.
So Johnny wants to know, where can we buy your music at?
So fortunately, I'm on Spotify and all the digital online stores. I have not only the Altar CD, but also another EP kind of CD that we put together with Dominic. It includes some original songs, and it's called En Otros Ojos, and it's on there. I also have other random different kind of things, but you could go to any digital store and you'll find my work.
Yeah, awesome. And then this is before No Manches. So can you explain what No Manches means actually for our audience out there?
What
does it really mean? Yeah.
No Manches is just like, I don't know.
Mamaves? Is this kind of like that? Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a synonym to like no manches, like don't lie, don't. It's like come on, be real, no manches. Yeah. Don't exaggerate. But that's pretty much the context of it.
Okay, that's a tame version. Awesome, I like it. So Chris wants to know. Question for you is your top 3 favorite singers.
Oh, so it definitely has to be Violeta Parra is my favorite. In that the South American, just the rawness of where I come from. My Latina-ness. But also just because I belong to these two cultures, the Spanish speaking world and the English. Another artist that I really admire is Sade. And I actually did a tribute to Sade many years ago. And who knows, maybe someday I'll do that again. But I admire her because she's very discreet and elegant, and she is the only artist that I know that can go away for 10 years and then come back and do another album, and her fans are still there, you know. So I love that about her, her integrity, her elegance, so her sensuality, because there's a difference between, you know, sexiness and sensuality, or being sexy and sensual. I think sexy is from the body and sensual is from the soul. So she embodies all of that. Everything that I admire is Sade. Her music is just it's timeless, you know? And just, it would be really difficult to say, but just a lot of the old, Agustin Lara is another one of my favorite composers and performers and singers, you know, all the eras, you know, out there. But it's so many. I couldn't even say, but those three are like the main.
Yeah. Chris says, I'd love to hear a song, you sing a Smooth Operator cover.
Oh, yeah, I've done that. I did this.
Yes,
trip.
You did.
Oh my God, Ruben! Karaoke.
No, I gotta find it.
We gotta do a karaoke night.
But that'll be part 2 show. You know, we'll get those ones in there. Yeah. So, but can I ask a question, Paloma Negra? Where's everybody at the moment? I mean, are they in? They're not in Sacramento. I mean, I know
you
Dominic.
Mean the collective?
The collective.
Yeah. Well, you know, Dominic was the primary founding member of Paloma Negra. You know, there's a wild story to that, right, Dominic? But then when I moved to Monterrey, I honestly thought Paloma Negra was going to die, because Paloma Negra was born here in Sacramento. And like I said, it was just an inspiration to maybe assist or inspire people of all races and nationalities and backgrounds to reconnect to the truth of who you are, to reconnect to that pride of your colors, you know, like I said, the flavors and the aromas and everything that we are in essence. So that was the ideation behind Paloma Negra. But so when I moved to Monterrey, I thought it was going to die, but it's really where it all exploded. And I was really just amazed to see the, you know, the reception of the concept of Paloma Negra. So I think I lost my train of thought. What was the question?
Oh, you know what? Before you do that, I forgot this one right here. Lupita, that was for you right there. So, what was it? I got lost in the moment.
Oh, no, you asked about the members. And sorry.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Thank you. I just remembered. So when I moved to Monterrey, it was more like a collective. You know, if I was hired to do a show, it was very much inspired. Like I would consider everything around the where the venue is, what audience, you know, the time of the year. So I was able to tailor it to every circumstance. So what I would do is I would envision a set list, you know, what did I want to express, what concepts, what ideas, you know, what part of me, you know, what part of my spirituality did I want to put out. And so I would think about the musicians. First I had to think of the songs, and then what sounds did I hear? So I would invite all these amazing musicians, and I'm so proud to say that I always was surrounded by amazing and super talented musicians. So it really is a collective, to answer your question, and they're all out there. And I hope that whenever I get back to working and performing, I can just reach out to anyone. I had, you know, Harold Munoz and Carlos Caro here in Sacramento, many that I couldn't even begin to mention now, but it was just an amazing collective of musicians. And I was always so lucky, you know, to have them near me.
So what you're saying is that there's a show coming, a Paloma Negra. We'll take it.
I hope so.
You heard it here. We're going to manifest it.
First.
We are manifesting it right now. Okay.
We're going
to put it out.
Yeah, it's our decree. We have to make it happen. So I'll reach out to musicians out there and we'll see. You know, we'll put it all together.
They're
like
ready.
A cocktail.
That's right. A Cali cocktail concert series.
We can
and Cruz says thank you.
Yeah, we could create a cocktail named Paloma Negra. And it'll just be like
Maria Costa says, hello all.
Oh, Marie.
Yeah. So, you know, and talking about, you know, all this, like, you know, music that, you know, obviously comes from different fields. And like, what I like about it is like, I love mariachi music, but that's not all the music there is in Mexico. I think people that they think, and that's why I love hearing those different instruments. And we talked about the what I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a bass or
It's an upright instrument. It's 2-stringed, and you can play it like a cello or a violin, but you can also play it like a guitar, like pick it, So that's another thing. It was all the things I hear in my head, all the instruments. And so Dominic was always great in grounding all these ideas. So the sounds are very rich in strings and piano. Percussion is one of the biggest things. I think Dominic and I were the very first few in Sacramento back in the 2006 and 2007 who introduced the cajon peruano here. It's like everybody was wondering, what is that box? So what I love about the cajon, and it's so beautiful, is like you get all the sounds you would get in a drum set, and Dominic would attest to this.
Yeah.
And it's just a little box, but you can get all the sounds or most of the sounds that you can get from a drum set. And so you can have a trio, a drummer and a guitar, or a drummer and a piano. a cajon player and a piano, and you have everything. You have your bass and you have everything that you would need just as a basis to
it's cool. Yeah. And Dominic, I've known Dominic for a long time. He's an awesome guy.
He is.
Yeah. So
Dominic.
Yes.
I know we're in Mexico tonight, but the singers that Araceli is alluding to, and when you talk about Latin America, and the first time I heard like Le doy gracias a la vida, it was Mercedes Sosa, and it's like this idea of world music. And, it's not a new idea. Like Bob Marley is known for like also doing that, but the ability for people to connect with music without even understanding the words or speaking the language.
Because it's vibration.
I can listen to your song and understand there's pain there.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful thing. Like, I am so curious for you, when you've performed in places where people maybe don't speak Spanish, is it different?
Yeah, and I was telling Ruben earlier, or I think it was yesterday or the day before, when we were talking about how the whole Paloma Negra concept came to be. And in the beginning, we weren't going to tailor our repertoire to what we thought people needed to hear. It's like, what do we want to express? And so part of it was just again, go within and just, put out these songs. And so what happened is, like, even though initially I envisioned this project to be, like I said, inspiration for all of us coming from different countries, not just Hispanics or Latin Americans or Mexicans, but anyone from anywhere in the world that disconnected from their culture and their land and their family, who came here to this country to be, to immerse or to try and become a part of this culture. Is like, in what part of that process did I lose myself? So Paloma Negra is like an invitation to reconnect to that. And so what we discovered is that when we were doing shows, we were mainly singing in Spanish. Now I'm singing English and Zapotec and in Latin, not Latin, but Latin, like that Sephardic lullaby. So it's like, I discovered that I was connecting to all of these songs that maybe, like when I put together Genda Navani, which is in Zapotec, it's a hymn to life and death. And it's really been embraced by the Zapotec community, and we could do another show just on that song alone. But I discovered that when I connected to the words, and I honored each song by really researching and understanding how to pronounce the words and what the words really meant, not just like you would say in Spanish, like a perico, repeating. I really honored each word in every song. But I realized that when you're singing, the vibration of your voice and the instruments and just the intention of all the musicians gathered on that stage, it really just poured out into the audience. And so people from all backgrounds and races were coming. And Dominic can also, he was a witness to this, people would kind of stand in line to greet us and say, we don't speak Spanish, we don't understand what you're singing, but we can feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is a way that it's like it transcends language and race. Yeah, vibrations.
Vibrations. There you go. See.
Yeah.
That was my soothing voice, my vibrational voice, not my human voice. Thank you. And then Danielle says, collaboration with artists and music is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And Dominic, but no drink. Yeah, see?
Float
think
Grand Marnier on a Paloma. I will do that, and I will let you know how it goes.
And then Cherise says she remembers when he brought the box to the Multicultural Festival.
Oh, she remembers?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Vibrations felt with the ancestors. So speaking of vibrations and ancestors, we're going to go to, we talked about a little bit of a subject. We're not going to go too deep into it because that's a whole show. Chris and I already had a whole show last night talking about little bits and pieces. Chris says, if you could sing a cappella tonight.
Ooh.
Only
the only a cappella song I've ever done is by, I gotta tell you this.
Yeah.
If I may, I don't know how much time we have left.
Oh, there is no time.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
There's a song, and for one of the Day of the Dead concerts that we used to do at the cemetery in Monterey, that was like really wild. Like people were like, what are you thinking? But for the central and south of Mexico, that was normal to do concerts and music and gather at cemeteries for Day of the Dead. But for the northern part of Mexico, which is very close to the border with the USA, it was like unheard of. Are you crazy? So we started doing these concerts, and Dominic was with me from the very beginning in 2008. And I'm telling you, this is way before Coco and all these, Book of Life. Before Day of the Dead really exploded, we were already doing that. So I came across, as I was doing the research for the concerts, I came across this amazing piece. And many people in Sacramento already know Laura Rebolloso because she's an amazing sonera from Veracruz. I don't know if you Carissa or Ruben know her, but I reached out to Laura, and I was so amazed and touched by her openness. I said, hey, because it's like, who am I, right? I'm so-and-so, and I'm putting together this concert for Day of the Dead. Can I sing your song? It's called La Lucha. She wrote that song for her daughter, Lucia. And this is a song about pain and, hope and esperanza, if you know what I mean. So this is a song eventually, like years later, it became a part of Cirque du Soleil's, one of their shows, Lucia. It's called Lucia. The Cirque du Soleil, what I believe is that they discovered the song online. I don't know if through me or through Laura's own efforts, but this is a song. It's a cappella and it's on YouTube. But I could do a little bit.
Yeah. So before you do that,
one.
You're gonna do that song tonight. We're gonna hold off for a minute because I want everybody to hold on.
Sure.
That's like the special treat now. You don't give out the entree before the appetizers, right? And
so that's the only acapella song I could do.
Yes, and Chris said if it's only for just a minute, it would be wonderful. Chris, you're going to get your wish. Right now, we're going to tear off a little bit of a scar. Let it bleed a little bit so we can heal a little bit. Sure. We talked about this subject just a little bit. We're not going to go on forever about the subject, but it is very important that we look at our own inner self as a culture, what you want to call it, because I've seen it in Mexico, I've seen it in Cuba too, have experiences like that too. But and everybody out there too, we're going to bring this up and just talk a little bit about it, and try not to go hours like we did yesterday.
Sure.
And then no, we can't. I'm just saying. I was joking. But we're going to bring this up, and I will talk about a little bit of this after we see the video itself.
Okay.
And here we go.
It was a historic moment. Yalitza Aparicio, the star of the Mexican film Roma, was nominated for Best Actress at this year's Academy Awards. It was the first time an indigenous woman was in the running. But despite international recognition, not everyone back in Mexico celebrated Yalitza's success. Mexico's largest TV channel ran a parody of Roma. Many accused the light-skinned actress for mocking Yalitza with her brown face makeup and a prosthetic nose. Other Mexican personalities attacked the indigenous actress on social media with racist comments. Award-winning actor Tenoch Huerta says roles for dark-skinned actors in Mexico are limited.
People like me can only play characters who are messed up or who are thieves. We're the delinquents. which is funny because 80% of the population are mixed race. Your skin pigment still determines your social status and cultural level. The darker your skin, the more ignorant you are. It's a narrative that's been around for 500 years.
Some critics say popular characters like La India Maria helped perpetuate stereotypes about Mexico's indigenous population.
Part of the portrayal of indigenous people is that they're kind of like children who have not developed their abilities, who still haven't adapted to modern life. They're poor, very lazy, and don't produce anything worthwhile. They become a caricature in the media.
But thanks to actors like Tenoch and Yalitza, ordinary Mexicans are finally able to see people like themselves represented on screen.
I was eating tacos one time and a young guy selling cookies came up to me and said, "It's you, the one in the movies." And he hugged me and started crying and told me how awesome it was that someone with dark skin that looked like him could get all the girls and all that. This gave me the feeling that we can change things.
But while diversity in Mexican film and television is slowly increasing, on the streets far less seems to have changed. Advertisements seen by millions every day show people who are predominantly tall, thin, and light-skinned. This lack of representation leaves out the majority of Mexicans, who until recently had little chance of seeing lives like theirs played out on the big screen. David Mercer, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.
So, I played that just because I was very interested in kind of just talking, texting about, talking a little bit about the subject itself. And I know that, we need to have a discussion, right? I mean, I'm sure there's many discussions ago, but also just throw that a little bit into the atmosphere out there just to see, what people who maybe don't know about it, that know that there is, in Mexico too, about, it seems to be like how dark you are is everywhere. I remember going to Cuba, and that happened to me in Cuba too. With, I hung out with the darker Cubans, and the lighter Cubans got mad at me. It was almost it was a knife pulled out. I'm like, okay, guys, but, and, like I said, I go, there's a lot of beautiful things that, in Mexico too, but then there is, little things like that. So, and so what do you think?
What do I?
Yeah.
Well, it is a delicate subject, but I always say racism and classism and all the isms begin at home. And so in our culture, as Mexicans, as Latin Americans, it is true that, the light-skinned children are the most adored and, loved. And the darker, it's very true. So how do we expect to go or to live in a country like this one or anywhere, where we cannot embrace who we are if everything starts at home? So, I mean, just that from a cultural, perspective, if the lighter kids in the family, the lighter grandchildren in the family are all los güeritos, as they call them. And it's true, it begins at home. But if you ask for my opinion, from this broader spiritual perspective, I say, I believe if you ask me, and your intro, the video that you started off, there was love, and if you ask me, this exercise of being is all about love.
Yeah.
It's all about self-love, self-acceptance. So if we cannot look at ourselves in the mirror and accept ourselves, and, for as long as we are alive, we are going to have to work on that process of accepting us for who we are, our height, our skin color, our eyes, our hair. It's a battle, and there's so much pressure out there to be this way or that way. But I think it's so critical, that we began by, going within is like, just work with those aspects of you that are broken. Who made you feel that you weren't enough, that your skin color is the wrong skin? That's all silliness, because from the way, remember earlier when I said from a very early age, I had these mystic experiences. One in particular that really transformed the way I view life. So in that experience, and maybe later when we connect or we meet in person for, karaoke night or something, I'll tell you the full story. But the way I see life is like we really are in these physical vessels very temporarily. You know, when we evolve out of these bodies, you're gonna discover, or so I choose to believe. You know, I want to be careful in saying that. I choose to believe that there is this animated energy in us that makes this body move, but this body is very temporary. And when we go back into the all that is, you know, the energy, the collective energy, none of this gender, color, race, you know, patria, you know what I mean? None of that matters, because we all merge into this one consciousness. You know, the soul, I would say, is what gives us the identity. Ara, Ruben, Carissa, that's the soul, but the spirit is all that is. And there's no gender, there's no color, but everything begins at home. So what are the things you learned and heard when you were growing up? You know, oh, being brown is bad, or being short is bad, or this and that, you know, all these misconceptions that we have. But if we just learn to go and look at each other beyond the body and embrace one another, is like, that's it. It's love.
Carissa?
No, I will be mindful, because Ruben, you know, I could go all night.
I know. That's not my. That's what. So we're gonna do a little short subject on it. And we'll go to the comments after that. Yeah.
What I will say is that, you know, I'm hearing you, Araceli, as far as like, I remember being told if I had a white boyfriend or something, it's like, estás mejorando la raza, right? Like, right?
I know that one. Yeah.
And yet, when it comes to my own spiritual journey in life, and embracing that aspect of my personality, I will say that although I've always felt spiritual, really embracing it and being more public about it is relatively recent. Like, I typically really separated myself from it and was like, just focused on, you know, the task at hand, the work, what are we doing? And I will say that having to explore my own pain or trauma, it doesn't end with me, right? I think of, like, I carry the weight of my mother and my tias, my grandmothers, the people who crossed this border to make sure. I was like, I do think that they worked very hard so that my problems are a privilege. You know, like, that I do not have the same types of
issues, right?
Issues, yeah. And yet, this idea of, you know, and I thank you for sharing that video, Ruben. I remember when that was happening, and it was so disappointing, but not surprising, because people may paint a very beautiful photograph or picture of Mexico as a land of celebration and joy. And it is that too. However, you ask a Guatemalan who has to make their journey from their country of origin through Mexico into the United States, they will not paint a beautiful picture of Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so there's something to be said about the way that we treat our indigenous cultures, our Black Mexicans, our Afro-Latinos, this idea of colorism, that we align with the whiter tones. And I say this knowing that I am lighter skinned Mexican, which is like, you know, it was kind of, you know, growing up, you're like, oh, it's, you know, que bonita, whatever. And then
la güerita, right?
Stay out of the sun, you know, because if you get darker, you're not as pretty or whatever.
Yeah.
And you hear this your whole life and you don't think much of it, or I didn't think much of it until I really started to see the pain it caused my community.
Yes.
And also the pain it caused between myself and within my community. It was like, hold on a second. And the pain, the expectation that my community should trust me when I come in, like talking a certain way or behaving a certain way, was like, no, there's work I needed to do with myself as well. And I see that, and it's like, yeah, you know, we joke a lot about things. It's a way to mask our pain. The fact, and I think there's a lot of work to be done, and we're seeing what's happening in the world. We saw what was happening with George Floyd's murder. We saw the uprisings that began after that. And then we have to question, what is our role in this? When we go home to our respective home, Araceli, as you mentioned, our community as a home, how do we like take stock and say, hey, where are things? Like, where are we on this issue before we even start to encounter or engage with the other communities? And so I think that there's so much work and so much pain, but I think that's where the greatest transformation happens too.
Yeah.
So,
and we do have something. Yeah, we do have something from Surge too. If you want to read that.
Shadism, colorism. See, Sergio. I know he and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
It's pervasive in Latinx. So I will, yes. The legacy of European colonization and white supremacy. Yes. So I mean.
And then, yes, lack of representation is heartbreak and self-love is needed for all, right? And it is true. We do need, like I said, one day we're going to get, 20 years from now, we're like, oh, we are energy beings. We are, we are connected in some way. It all in interdependence, right?
Yeah.
Something happens over here in the other part of the world. The coronavirus is a perfect example of how we are all connected. It's a weird way, but one virus shot up by Mother Earth, and now we're all like, we're pissing her off. So we got to come back.
Yeah, and it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter
doesn't,
what you look like or where you come from or where you live. It's there for,
Yeah.
So that's where you know that we're all just one. But we have to go beyond that, beyond it. Yeah.
Which is another, conversation of, of going inner and, we're talking about Maria Savina and,
you mentioned her.
Yeah, and just just all the stuff that we can really go into right now. Well, we are running out of time, a little bit of time.
No.
Yeah, so this is part one. We'll have part two with you. But I'm going to play a little bit to, get our cleanses back going. We'll come back and hear a song, and then we'll hear your what do you call it? What was it again? Acapella, right?
Oh. Right.
We're gonna love it. You're gonna sound great. So this
I hope I don't forget my lyrics.
My grandmother's named kombucha, so I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. So this is just a little bit to get us back in the this is a cleanser. We'll go right here. There you go. It's called Cat Island. Where are all these kitties?
Oh, kitties have such an amazing energy too.
Yeah. There you go. And we are back.
Oh,
that was just a little cleanser to get us back going. Cats, gets us going too. We had puppies too, but I had to get the cats. So yeah. But I'm glad that we can talk about that. Like I said, it is a deeper conversation, and I didn't want to cut everybody off. But it goes deep, and
it's a subject.
Yes.
It's an open wound. And
yes,
I think we could 100,000 years could go by, and there's things that are just not going to change unless we go inside and change it in ourselves. Because we can go and point fingers, say, but it really is it's in here. We have to change first.
Yeah, and so we are going to go to one song, and then we'll come back and say, and then the acapella version.
Dominic.
Pero más contenta me voy a ir si de veras ustedes me ayudan a cantar esta canción. Es muy fácil, yo les voy a enseñar el coro. ¿Quién quiere? ¿Sí? Ok, el corito, cuando yo les dé la señal, dice: Paloma ausente, blanca paloma, rosa naciente, ¿sí? Y la melodía dice: Paloma ausente, blanca paloma, rosa naciente, ¿sí? Ok. Bien fácil, ¿sí? Y que suene, que se oiga en todo Zacatecas. Esta noche no tenemos muros ni techos que detengan el canto, así que ¿me acompañan? ¿Sí? De Violeta Parra.
Caminos, 5 cartas escritas se lleva el viento, 5 pañuelos negros son los testigos de los 5 dolores que llevo adentro.
Viene.
los elementos.
A ver, ¿cómo dice? Paloma. Suene. Blanca paloma, rosa naciente y otra vez.
Dice un papel escrito con tinta verde, que teniendo paciencia todo se alcanza. Una que bien la tuvo salió bailando de su jardín al arco de las alianzas.
A ver, bien otra vez. Fuerte. Blanca. Eso. Rosa naciente y otra vez.
Una jaula de la ira viene bajando con todos sus barrotes de calamina. Todos los pajarillos vienen trinando. Sin embargo distingo a mi golondrina.
Otra vez.
Paloma ausente, blanca paloma.
Qué bonito. Rosa naciente y otra vez. Eso.
Voy a ponerme un traje de mariposa. Mañana cuando llegue mi palomita, en los dedos banderas de tres colores y unas pestañas miles de candelillas.
Una última vez. Eso. Blanca paloma, rosa naciente y vámonos. Eso. Muchas gracias.
Señoras,
Qué bonito canta Zacatecas.
I was dancing. I was like
I know. I saw that. I was like, dang. Okay.
That was crazy.
behind the scenes, but I was so happy.
Oh God.
Do you want to read Serge's thing in
A ver, Sergio.
Bravo?
Viva Zacatecas, estado de nacimiento de mis queridos padres Teo y Luisa Acevedo. How's your dad doing? I hope your dad's doing well. So I know Sergio's dad
Yeah.
was not in a good way a few months ago, so hopefully he's hanging in there. But it's been a long year for
Yes,
some.
Sergio. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. You know what? The thing is, like, I think we just reintroduced Paloma Negra to, when you wish you had something you never knew you had. I think this is it.
Oh man.
I didn't even know. You know what I mean? And I know Dominic, so I think that it's a good way of reintroducing Paloma Negra, and you have a jewel in here, and so I think that for me it's like I want to see you play live.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I really do.
Thank you. That's
You
so
know?
inspiring. I hope so.
Yeah, and and I think we should do another show with Paloma Negra, reintroducing Paloma Negra to the public, and it's a great way to do it because, you notice that you're in a festival. Sacramento does sometimes that happens in Sacramento where it's like they don't appreciate what they have, and then when they're gone, like, oh my God, I should have went to see them, or I should have done this, and that's how I feel about Sacramento. I love Sacramento. I've been here my whole life, but unfortunately, that's what happens in this town.
But we have to go do and be who we are, regardless of
Yeah.
what may happen. It's like you do it for you. I always say I do things for me, for my soul, for my spirit. And then if anybody connects to that ideation or that intention, awesome,
But I think people will. So I think it really will. I mean, I didn't bash Sacramento. I mean, right? Did I?
No, but
I love Sacramento.
when we have conversation and that is a different episode. But
Yes.
but yes, I think you're right. There is much work that can be done within our community to really elevate and honor all the different voices and stories and talents that are here while they're here.
Yes. And there is a lot, in all communities. I mean, we just need to really look in deep in that. We talk about the Mexican Chicano community, Chicanx, whatever you want to call it. That's another one. There's so many shows,
I know.
all wrapped into one. But but it is true. Like there is so many talented people out there. Like you only see them once in a while. You see them at a show or at a festival or something like that. But you never really know what their life's about, and what, especially how they came here, right? And they're working at this, whatever they're doing, but then all of a sudden they're amazing artists or dancers and all this stuff. You just don't know it because, and so that's another show too.
I know,
in search
so
of,
many.
but yeah. And, but like I said, right now though, it is the discovery, rediscovery of Paloma Negra, rediscovery
Thank you.
and a lot of people are
That's
discovering
such
you.
a blessing, you guys.
So, and, Chris Macias is going to get his wish, I think, right? With the a cappella song? Or?
Oh my goodness. I hope to honor Laura Rebolloso's amazing words and this ode to her daughter. It's a very personal song, and now her daughter's all grown up and she's an amazing musician herself. But these words really touched me. And Laura, her openness, she said, we adore each other. We've only met each other like in person once or twice, but she was so open and her words just still resonate. And I hope everybody will love this song as much as we do. And check out Cirque du Soleil's show, even on video, because I know they're not doing much live anymore, but that song is out there, Lucia.
Okay, I'm going to solo you, so here we go. Ready?
Oh my goodness.
That's okay, no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah.
If I forget my lyrics, then just forgive me.
Here we go, everybody. Vibrations, healings, and sounds.
Baila niña hermosa como un torbellino, sirenita con tus encajes de lino, zapatitos con tacones de madera, de mis sueños tu presencia se apodera. Lucia, la hija de un amor que lanza una promesa al tiempo de la mudanza. Cuando se acaban los peces en el río, me resisto a destruir el amor mío. En este mundo se extinguen los amores. Los botones se mueren sin dar sus flores. Pienso y miro el árbol que fue cristalina. Tus pasitos de esperanza me reaniman.
That was beautiful.
Bravo!
Oh, God.
And I think you made Chris's night. He said, gracias, Alessi, for sharing your beautiful artistry. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
It was a total palomazo. I haven't performed it or.
That was beautiful.
Long time.
We should have done that the whole show. We have one.
I'm probably not giving it justice. How would he say it?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, Lupita, my friend. She's from Monterrey. She was one of my collaborators, Lupita Galan. She used to work on my stages, setting up my props. Always a good friend, and I miss her dearly.
See? Yeah, see? We have a lot of good... Which goes me back to the next show that we talked about when you were going to play live and maybe have Dominic in the studio with you or something like that, too.
Yeah,
I mean, your voice right there... I think that, we can hear that for the whole
I haven't
time.
seen Dominic in, a year?
Yeah. Well, count your blessings sometimes because, he can be a handful sometimes. I'm kidding.
Hey,
I love
Dominic.
Stunning composition y la voz, gracias. So, Marianne, yes, thank you.
Aww.
And all the way from Oaxaca, Raul Garcia, owner of and maker of Tres Tiempos, which was our mezcal karaoke night, and he brought it out for a tasting.
Is he in Sacramento?
Stockton right now, yeah.
Oh, Stockton. Does
But
he
he
know
does.
Does he know Genda Navani? Ask him.
Ask him. Go ahead.
The song in Zapotec. No, I'm just...
No, you can ask him. Oh. Well, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
Raul.
You know, do
Raul.
you know Genda Navani? That's all.
He has a great mezcal too, and he also has him and his wife have a postre in the flea market in Stockton, right?
Oh.
But they sell all products from Oaxaca: chocolate, sal de gusano, chapulines, everything you want. Yeah, queso, everything you want there. So yeah.
Oh, it's in Stockton?
Yeah, in the super. Yeah. So, and he has some great mezcals who he brought over, and we have it a lot. So Tres Tiempos is the mezcal. Yeah. What do you say? Is that bad? Is he saying something bad to me?
Abrazos fuertes. Like, well, it literally translates as strong hugs, but it means like big hugs.
Yeah, I know.
Like, we're just making
Yeah,
sure.
big hug.
I'm just doing a job. I'm like, are you being macho, Dominic? Oh, see, Lupita misses you too.
Aww.
And then Dominic said,
Lupita.
Lupita, yeah, with 4. See, Lupita's a hit. Lupita, is Lupita in Monterey right now, or?
Yeah, she's from Monterey.
All right, I've never been to Monterey. I need to go there.
You
Yeah,
gotta, if I do a show over there, you gotta come.
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. We're there. We're there. You know,
We're
yeah,
there.
we're there.
We're there.
So, everybody, thank you for coming to Cali Cocktail Hour. We'll have you again back. Well, sorry, we'll have you back again. Sorry, that's Spanglish English. That my brain.
It's all right. Is it the cocktail? Is it the
No, it's actually my dyslexic brain and my Spanish English backwards. So, we'll have you back. And next week we're going to have a folklore group. It is I want to say it right. It's the first queer folklore group in America. And yes. And so we're going to have him come up and talk about the group. We'll see some of the dances. And it was a friend of mine, Lupita, who was here on last week. So I hope I said that right. But they're from Zacatecas, Sergio. So we have a Zacatecas theme, going on. But it's going to be cool, Yeah. So I'll have, special guest host Lynn Mayuba, who is an artist, and she will be here. And, it'll be curious to see her take on it, too, because I don't think she knows a lot about it. But it'll be good to see what the fresh, innocent mind of Folklorio and his journey and his struggles through, obviously, what kind of struggles you would have having a group like that in Mexico and here, actually. So it'll be interesting to see.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy. He'd agreed to it. I'm like, okay, perfect, because he jumped on the thing last week. So I'm like, hey, do you want to come on? He's like, yeah. So it's very interesting. I saw some stuff. Yeah, and look, see. Viva Zacatecas, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and then,
yeah.
What's Orale?
Did it mean like orale?
Orale is like orale, but he's just being fancy, Dominic.
Oh, dang. See, that's what I'm saying.
Orale.
Yeah.
Dominic.
So everybody, thank you for coming out for Cali Cocktail Hour, and I appreciate Carissa always for jumping on and being yes, we'll do it.
I know. It was great to meet you, Carissa. Thank you for your beautiful presence, your amazing questions, and thank you, Ruben, for having me.
And everybody else, thank you so much for coming. And next Friday, come out next Friday. And, stay safe still, ponder the vaccine. It'll help out a lot. I know that some people have different reasons, but, whatever the case may be, please consider it. It is a, when I got mine, it's a lot off your mind. I don't know if I never expected that. I never expected it to be a mental relief. Like it's almost like, oh my God, I can actually maybe in a month I can actually go outside. I'll still wear a mask, but I'm saying like, I think we've just been fighting this invisible thing that's like, it's like it's so out there. I feel like I'm running around town and like someone's coming. I mean, I'm jumping behind a tree. Right? Reminds me when I was a kid in La Puente when my mom would say, there was a lot of gang activity. She's like, Ruben, when you go outside at nighttime, if a car comes really slow, hide behind a tree because they'll shoot you. I mean, that was when shootings were more, But that's what reminds me of coronavirus. I'm like, okay, when someone comes, just hide. Wash your hands. I touch my nose now. I was like, oh my God, I just touched my nose. I'm like, okay, dude.
This thing has forever changed us. I think we're just going to have to go baby steps again towards the outer world.
Yeah. It was my friend's daughter the other day. He told me like, she said to him like, Daddy, I have no friends. And I was like, how sad. Sad, but we'll get back, kids are resilient, and they'll get back to it. But it's still, I was like, wow, that kind of hit me, like hard on that one. I was like, wow, I never, anyways, before I get too sensitive, Raquel says, "Great show, Raquel." I felt the same. Yeah, when she actually got her vaccine.
Her shot.
So
okay.
I ate chocolate. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna eat fucking chocolate tonight.
I can't
I'm
wait.
celebrating. Yeah, I'm celebrating. Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
Yeah. So, but thank you. I appreciate it, Carissa. Always,
Always
yeah.
amazing, both
Yeah.
of you and
Araceli.
everybody out there.
Araceli, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And everybody else, thank you for coming. We love you. I love you. We'll be back next Friday and continue on forever until, I don't know, the microphone falls off. But
Hey.
yeah, and Carissa's got to go, but I decided to stay on the, well, I want to talk to you afterwards. But
Okay.
everybody else, I got to play an outro. Sorry.
All right.
Okay. So
Thank you,
mucho,
everybody.
yeah. This is
In
famous
the now
words.
and in the future, in the replays. Hola, hola.
Yes.
Bye.
Any last words, anybody? Any last words?
I just want to thank you both for creating this space. It's amazing, and it's
Yeah.
really, it's an elixir. It saved us. It saved me this Friday. Thank you for an opportunity to connect to people
Yeah. thank
behind
you.
a screen.
Yeah, and thank you for engaging, with us too on the other subjects that are a little bit heavier, but another topic for a show, Carissa. Right? I have this vision for Carissa to do a show with all these topics, not me. I can produce a show. I'll be the producer, right? But I'm like, that's what I have. That's
One
almost.
of these days, yeah, primer impacto, but like.
Yeah. Say.
Send
Okay,
me-
well, Dominic. Okay, and everybody else, te amo, we love you, and thank you for coming. And please, we're almost there. We're almost there. So just kind of stay the course, and and love each other, and I love you too. Okay. So we'll play the outro, and then Carissa, I know you got to go. Tell Mia I said hi, and thank you very much, and we'll talk soon. Everybody else, have a good weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Maybe I've seen my dad. And I'm alive to kill the time. What triggers the idea of la da da da. Well, I've lived this before. And why must we experience it? My curiosity kills cities of cats. That's that. La